Desiree, and I am here. I'm going to use that heart spinner. I got really focused on the heart spinners for my projects. We're going to create some backgrounds. So I'm going to be doing my ink smushing. Now it's going to have a different effect because I'm doing this on glass. But it's kind of what I wanted to look for. So a mottled watercolored look, which is what a glass surface will give me. But I was very much inspired by one of our other design team members. Her name is Joy Wilson. I will put down her YouTube channel, link down below. She made this project, and it helped me to look at the die in a different way. Hers was really, it was just adorable. So it was just inspiring for me. So kind of, it's what she did with it, but my interpretation, I guess you could say. So if she's watching, thank you, Joy, for the inspiration. We always should be inspired by others, and we should also be looking for that inspiration. It's what helps us create, and, you know, put together some ideas and some tips and tricks along the way. Okay, so back to the card. So you can see I'm using Prize Blue Ribbon. I'm using the Rustic Wilderness. I'm using Patina. So it's just some very different colors. I'm also using, I think, pine needles, I think I'm using in here. So very deep greens and blues, and using those two shades to come together. So while I have a true blue and a true green, because that's kind of what I call those two colors, when you add in the patina, it's like a mixture of those two. When you add in pine needles, it's like a mixture of those two. One leans towards the blue and one leans toward the green. Once I have these panels done and they were dry, I'm going to add a little bit of water to each of those colors that I've put down on my mat, and we are going to splatter away. You know, just adding the true greens down onto there and the true blue colors. Again, I want these to be more of a backdrop or a background panel for the images. I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. I'm also going to use water to splatter. We're using water on distress inks. Anything that's water reactive is wonderful because you will get those droplets, just like when we use a spray bottle. Now, I usually don't pick mine up. I like to let them dry naturally. They give this different look when the water's able to seep into the water, push that paint, push that ink aside to give it that look. Again, my preference. I'm also going to come in with white splatters. I'm also going to come in with gold splatters because, again, when we're creating this, we've got this green, you know, luck of the color, and that's usually gold when we think of these colors that we have. So I'm just going to use I was going to try to spray it down onto the glass mat. What I've chosen is to just use the spraying thing, hose. I don't know what it's called. Just something to get that color down. And then when you put the water on top of these, it'll also help these colors to mix and merge around as well. So really fun backgrounds that we've created. You can tell I've got it all over the place because that's what we do when we splatter, just to have fun. And I wanted to do these all at once. So these are each of our panels. The bigger blobs, more technical word, I do pick those up, but just that, it was really just that one. I'm now going to take my ink pad directly to my watercolor paper, and that's what I'm using here. It's Canson XL watercolor. I'm trying different ways to just scratch across that surface, now coming in with a spray bottle and just dousing this with water. Now you can see how this is curling. If I would have sprayed the other side of that with water, it would have laid flat. But sometimes, you know, we forget what we do and the fun that we can have. I'm also going to come in with the spray stain of Prize Blue Ribbon because I want more blue than green on this. But I do want that dark green. And those are the only two colors. So I'm coming in with that true green and I'm coming in with that true blue. So Rustic Wilderness and Prize Blue Ribbon are the only two colors that I'm mixing on here. By scratching across that cardstock, it's just putting the ink down onto the watercolor paper, and the minute, since they are water reactive, the moment that I spray water on top of them, they are going to react when it comes to those colors. And I'm going to do 2 more panels here, so doing that the same way. We are with all of our panels completed and drying. So now we're going to have fun die cutting. I'm going to use the overlay die with the flowers and so forth on the darker blue and green. For the lighter shades, the more green background, I'm going to use the solid heart. I'm going to die cut each of these 3 times. I'm going to use my glue with the fine point, and I'm going to set that pattern on top of those bases there. And I'll do that 3 times as well. Now, it was very odd. So once I got these 3 pieces together, I didn't know which way I was going. I had a vision on what this card was going to look like, and then for some reason I was changing my mind. So I started doing things, and I wish I could show you because I didn't hit the record button. I'm so sorry. Yeah. We do that sometimes. So once you'll see that when this flips, that's when I realized that it was turned off. I had put the gems onto the hearts because it kind of made my mind think of something else. So that's why you're seeing that. I'm taking one of the other panels that I have and I'm cutting a squiggly line. I'm using some of my iridescent blue mirror cardstock. I believe this is called Tidal Wave from Tonic. And it's just got this blue-green effect, but it's got an iridescent shade to it as well. Yes, I am still addicted to the iridescent cardstocks. I'm using my double-sided tape to adhere this down onto the panel. Now, the panel that I've cut here, this is going to be a 6x6 card. I cut the panel to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I'm actually using watercolor paper because I want that texture in the background, and I will be splattering on this. So as you can see, when you take the hearts and you put them together, you can create your clover. And that's what she did. That's what she did with this. She created this it was a wall hanging, and it was just very inspiring. So using kind of the same things, I just made sure that I could fit it on a 6x6 card. And by cutting that squiggle that's up in the left-hand corner, that's going to be the stem of the 3-leaf clover because I didn't want to make a 4-leaf clover. I mean, you could have, but it would have just lost. If I put that's something that I was thinking about. If I put that 4th heart in there to create a 4-leaf clover, you wouldn't have seen really that it was a 4-leaf clover because the stem would have been really small. I would have had to have sticked it out one of the different angles, and it just wouldn't have looked right because it really would have pulled out the panel. So just having these 3 can give us that illusion. I'm going to use my double-sided tape again now that everything is set up onto this so that I can place this down onto the 6x6 card base. The card base that I'm using are by Tonic. I do enjoy their off size, and I say that in quotes like you can see me doing that. They're odd sizes of card bases, the 6x6, the 7x7s, and the 5x7s. They are a nice weight, very strong. Almost placed this on the wrong way on the card, so I prayed and just pulled that up and it came off. I'm using a sentiment for my card that simply says thanks, and this is by Memory Box. I believe I'm looking at that now. Yes. Memory Box. And of course you can see I'm constantly flipping. I really wanted it to go up the stem, but it just wasn't fitting right. I should have put the stem, and I should have put that down when I cut the stem. Because again, I always look for things different. Here comes the rustic wilderness and the prize blue ribbon again. We're going to do the same thing. Mushed it down on our glass mat, add a little bit of water, and we are just going to splatter away. We're also going to be splattering some of the water as well. You'll see me as I come off to that side. We are going to add a little bit of gold, and I do get a couple of big blobs going on here, and that's okay. I will come in just with a paper towel and just pick those up just a little bit. And to make it look uniform, I'm doing that across all of the hearts. And that is our card. So Joy, thank you so much for the inspiration when it came to one of my cards. I truly appreciate it. And guys, again, I will have her link down to her channel down below if you want to check it out. The products that I used will be linked down below as well in the video description if you want to see them. And as the time when I am showing this video on the 17th, there is currently a sale going on to Scrappy Tales. So make sure you stop by and maybe you'll see something that you've been wanting and you'll be able to have that sale to get it. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Continue to enjoy, and while you're enjoying, and if you did enjoy, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and ring the bell because hopefully you'll be notified. I can't promise that. I don't control that. But enjoy the process. Enjoy the art that you are creating because nobody else can create it. So that makes it unique and wonderful. And that's the beauty of this. But just as I always say, always be creative. And I'll talk to you in the next one, guys. Take care.